I'm interviewing Bernard Putz, my grandpa, from the 10th Mountain Division and Veterans of Foreign War. So Papa, you served in the 10th Mountain Division. How was that? How was the 10th Mountain Division? Did you enjoy your
The way I got into the 10th Mountain Division was from Camp Hale, Illinois. I did group training to Colorado, which took 3 days. And while we approached Fort Carson, at that time was Camp Carson, we spotted a lot of airplanes in the air. We figured we were going to be in the Air Force, but we ended up at Fort Carson with the mules. After 6 months, we ended up in Camp Hale, Colorado, which was the home of the 10th Mountain Division.
Okay, so just through everything. You thought you were going to be in the Air Force, though?
That's how I got into the 10th Mountain Division. I was volunteer, right?
Volunteer. What rank did you start off in? Did you have, like, pilot?
So you ended up at, everybody starts out in the Army with a private rank.
Okay. What did you end up with?
And then I ended up with a corporal. I was promoted to corporal on the battlefield. So I had a battlefield promotion.
Oh, okay.
I'm out of it in Italy.
How long did you serve the 10th Mountain Division for?
From the beginning to the very end.
So how long was that?
The 10th Mountain Division was activated in July of 1943 and was deactivated in November of 1945.
Wow, so you're there the whole time. It's really cool. So about those years of service, what is your favorite memory? Do you have a favorite memory of those years of service?
Oh, there's a lot of favorite memories, but favorite memory would be visit to Rome, visit to Florence, Firenze, and Venice, Italy, Trieste, Italy, the Brenner Pass, Rosenborg, Austria.
What was so awesome about that experience? What made that your favorite memory? What made that your favorite memory? What was it about that you liked so much?
It was released from the line, from the battlefield. There was 2-day rest, 3-day passes, kind of R&R.
It was nice.
Rest and relax.
Did you have a lot of moments that you were very scared, though? I mean, obviously you were in war. What would you define as like one of your most threatening moments?
Several times.
Several times? What are a couple of those experiences?
Well, the day before we got to the Gibraltar Pass on the ship, the ship in front of us the day before was torpedoed. So then, after we landed in Naples, Italy, we went up to Graziano's farm in Volturno Valley and went on a hike up into the mountains. And the fellow in front of us stepped on a mine, and we weren't even in combat at that time. So that was the one. Then later on, we were advancing behind the German lines, and I drawn right a marker on it, and we got straight, and I lost all my old gun section except myself and the boy on the north side of Chicago.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I couldn't really imagine how scary that would be. If you had to describe your time serving in the 10th Mountain Division in one word or phrase, what would that be and why?
Very educational.
Why is that?
Well, number one, it became in terms of leadership. And the thing was that the leadership was under stress and strain, so that when we came into civilian life, I ended up being a management consultant as a result of part of my training.
That is educational. So, I mean, from your description of your threatening moment, it sounds like the fighting was just, I mean, crazy. What, is there anything else you could describe the fighting? Like, was it constant?
We were, one day we were moving into a new position. The infantry was digging in for the night, and being a Field Artillery unit, we passed through the ranks into a valley near LeBorre, Italy, and we came under fire for 3 consecutive days, night and day, 24 hours a day, where we experienced our most casualty upon request in order to move into a new position. I helped displace the guns and while being under constant fire, so for which I was awarded the Bronze Star.
That's how you got it. That's a nice medal there.
That's how you come in.
Yeah.
You know, then you bring the medal in.
Okay. Want to describe some of your other medals?
And one here is a good conduct medal, and I have 2 knots on it, which means that I was in the service for 9 years.
Okay.
And this one is the Arrogant Defense Ribbon. European Theater of Operation, Mediterranean, with 3 battle stars.
Oh wow, okay.
50 medal. After the war, we moved into Trieste area in Italy, and to face the Marshal Tito's forces coming in from Yugoslavia, and we occupied the territory. As a result, we got an occupation medal.
Okay. And you have I brought a ton more medals, but those are just definitely
Those are the
main
other
ones.
medals are from the Korean conflict.
Okay. So isn't it true, on like a more personal level, that Grandma had said that you had to choose the Army or her, and it was just then you like had to think about it because you loved the Army so much.
Mother didn't have anything to do with it. The reason we ended up in the Army was that all the guys in the neighborhood left, and there were only 3 of us left. So we went up to the draft board and volunteered. And since we couldn't pass the Air Force test or the Navy test, we ended up being in the Army.
Yep. So that's how that came to be. But you ended up loving it, so it didn't. It ended up turning out okay.
Well, the thing is that once a veteran has been overseas and has been in combat or in support of a combat unit, there is a camaraderie that's built up. So there's a kind of a kinship. It's like a fraternity.
Oh, okay.
And so then, as a result, I'm a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, American Legion, and the Korean Legion.
Just to keep your ties, and that's very cool. So then you that bond it carries throughout all the years. It's just
the bonding is still there.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to tell me about before we close the interview? Is there any other stories or words of advice for anyone else deciding to join the Army or anything?
But just going to do your job that we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
If you're asked to do whatever what you volunteer, and you're gonna volunteer your services in that the Army, Navy, Marines, or Air Force, do what you're supposed to do, and it'll be a benefit to you at some point in your life.
Yeah, has it benefited you and all those leadership skills and everything? Definitely. Well, thank you so much for answering my questions, but more importantly, thank you for your service and serving our country in the 10th Mountain Division in the Army.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.